Oh, there we go.
Okay, cool.
And we're back.
Recording in progress.
Thank you, Jose, for that lovely interjection.
Sorry. Sorry, I was just I didn't expect to have a woman say recording in progress. Like you. I have a girlfriend. Thank you very much.
That's right.
Nice.
Shout out to Amy. Yeah.
That's right.
Anyway.
So, I can't speak for the life of me. So I'm.
Server error. I repeat, server error.
2.5 years of doing this shit, and we still make Elliot nervous as hell, like as if he was a little schoolboy.
Yes, Papa.
Oh my
What are
god.
you doing?
So,
that was funny.
So correct me if I'm wrong.
I guess not.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it a Ken's turn?
It was Kent's turn.
Yes, it was.
But his mic's currently mute.
Okay, so you must be handling a coworker or something.
That's right.
Handling a coworker, sure.
Well, how about let Oscar? I'm gonna say Oscar should go.
Sweet.
I agree.
Yes, I'll go because I have to leave like in 20 minutes ish.
Go.
But one that I've been thinking of, I think would be neat. I think it couldn't go either way, but I think Invincible. Like,
Ooh,
Invincible.
it was really popular with its show on Amazon. So I think if it had its own video game, I think it'd be just as equally as popular. You can probably expand the world itself.
That would be a cool.
And Invincible and everyone, all the other characters, and so I don't know. I was thinking about that one because I'm just like, it was popular when it first came out with their series. So why not make it into a video game specifically? So I don't know what you guys think about that.
That's a hell of an idea for a video game. I agree.
I can
I
see
agree.
it.
I can see it too. Like you can do a Think Mark meme mini game as well. You know, like right at the tail end of the boss fight with you and Omni-Man. You know, that'd be something good.
Yeah, and you can make it as graphic as possible, just like they did on the series, because you have other games that are just as graphic as the show was, and so like Call of Duty, and I mean you can be as creative as you can. So I think that one would be really neat. So I don't play much video games, but I would definitely buy that one just for the experience itself if they were to develop it correctly.
That would be a really fun game. Although I'm pretty sure I know what people would say about it. It would be like the reason why making a Superman game is really freaking difficult, because that map is gonna have to be huge if you can
Not just
if you can fly at the speed of sound and just like destroy everything.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, if an Invincible game came out, the ending of that game would just be a city destroying sim. It would just be like, oh yeah, like you're fighting, I don't know.
It might
Spoilers.
as well just be a sandbox.
Yeah, spoilers for anybody who hasn't watched Invincible.
Oh,
The end of the game would be like you fighting Omni-Man, and it's just like one punch, you get thrown through like 10 different buildings. And you're just like, what the fuck?
Or the whole objective of it is don't get hit by Omni-Man. If you do, you lose.
It's like an instant one shot. Oh, that would be insane.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Unlike something will be from Prior Fear. You guys shot once, you did.
Yeah.
That's right. It could be it could be similar to that Jedi Fallen Order final boss fight with Darth Vader. And it's like there is absolutely no way that you can win. All you can do is just dodge and get the hell out of dodge.
And run.
Run.
And the dude's literally just walking and ripping tiles off the floor all over the room.
Oh my god. And there could be like a video game version of that scene where Omni-Man grabs Invincible, puts him in front of the train tracks, right? And then like, oh my god, it could be so graphic. So many people just dying with flesh and guts going everywhere. It would be like a horrific scene, but it would be very effective like in the world of video games, if you ask me.
Well, it looks like Ken's out.
Oh man.
Oh well, no.
When you work during your shift.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway, so Ken unfortunately only has Joker for now.
which is fine.
Yeah, that's more than fine with me. I dig a video game concept like that.
Just Joker.
Just Joker. Yeah.
Will Ken be doing his laugh in the
Oh
game?
God. Oh God, no! Please don't.
It'll be
Maybe
like,
if
wanna
he
know
was,
how-
let me shut up.
What's it called? But yeah, no, like an Invincible game would be. Oh, he did his own thing. Yeah,
He brought it in.
yeah.
Gambit
so-
game, of course, Gambit.
Oh,
Cowboy
so-
Bebop.
he really
Joker,
likes
Hey,
that.
Cowboy
He loves
Bebop.
Gambit.
Cowboy Bebop would be really fucking cool.
I would love that
It
actually.
would be cool. Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop.
I would love
would be
that.
cool. But yeah, Invincible would be really cool, but like that would require like a lot of power from whatever console or thing you're using. Because I remember, I don't know if anybody watches the YouTube channel, the Corridor Digital.
I've heard of that. I've heard of that one. but
They're-
I haven't seen the videos.
There are a bunch of like VFX artists.
Yeah, I
and
see
they,
them,
yeah, and they
Oh
do.
yeah.
And they do like a bunch of videos on like how VFX work, and then like also
that's-
they react and everything. And the number one thing that is always like they even talk about video games sometimes, and they always say that like destruction simulations are super heavy on computers, like especially high res destruction, like
Mhm.
large scale city destructions are really difficult for like
Takes a big load of it just to even run a city. Is
Yeah,
like,
so-
let's say Spider-Man, for example.
yeah, I only wonder how much it took them to render that. Like, I don't know if anybody's played Miles Morales here, but the beginning where Rhino is just charging through all of Manhattan, like
Yeah.
that probably took a while to like render all of that stuff. Like, oh my
Yeah.
god.
Now, the whole thing with Rhino, and in the first Spider-Man, when you're going against Shocker, the
Yeah,
destruction he was
exactly.
going
Yeah,
through.
in the bank, like when they're
The bank
chasing
scene.
Shocker through the bank. Yeah. I remember that one.
You can only imagine.
But at the same time, there is that game on Steam where you play as basically Superman. It's not very good, but like it's there.
You want to get your destruction fix, just play that.
Mhm.
Oh, I'd be
So,
more than down.
Position is Invincible.
Invincible. Yeah, that was Oscar.
Cool. Okay. And any final thoughts, Oscar?
No, and I guess I'll just answer the other question just briefly. One I think that would also be neat for them just to reboot would be James Bond. I've always been a James Bond fan. They did Quantum Solace a few years back when the movie came out. It was trash. And so I think it's just another one that they can expand. It would be neat to have like Rockstar do the production for that video game, just because it's a shooter game. Obviously, it's about a spy and everything, and so and kind of like they could kind of mix it in with like kind of like a little bit of GTA with
LA
Mafia and with LA
Noir.
yeah, LA Noir. And so I think it would come out really great. I wouldn't mind playing one of those games as well, just James Bond, because I'm an avid super fan of.
Well, on that note, there is a James Bond game coming.
Oh, is there?
Yeah,
Really?
made by IOI Interactive, the same guys who do the Hitman series.
Oh.
Oh,
Perfect.
Yeah. And
I have experience with that. Yeah.
yeah, like the new Hitman games, the ones where it's just like a complete sandbox where it's like kill this person, but like you basically have unlimited ways to do it. Like there's
Yeah.
just so much shit in that.
Talk
So-
about the newer Hitman games. Yeah.
Yeah, the newer ones that are like it's a little exploitative, I'm not gonna lie, because I don't like how they did the whole thing with like, oh, you have to buy each assassination by itself, and then it's like, so then what's the point of buying the game?
Yeah. If you're gonna buy some more, you need more money to get more of the features of the game. I mean,
Yeah, that's like the one thing I hate about the new Hitman games, but like I've played them because I basically waited until all of them were out and then they just released all of them at the same time. And I really enjoyed the whole thing because it's just like you have there's so many ways you could just assassinate people in that game. It's insane. I was like, holy
No,
shit.
it's crazy how creative they gotten with it.
Yeah, you can get super creative. So I'm kind of excited for what
I
they
can see
got
it.
cooking on that James
Yeah,
Bond game.
and I grew up with the
Oh,
Hitman
yeah.
games, so I played first one, second one, Blood Money, all like pretty much almost all of them. So I could see something like that happening. I would love that. But since
Yeah.
it's James Bond, the interesting way instead of assassinating people, trying to catch up to you, bad guy.
That's right. Alrighty, sounds good, guys. I'm gonna leave you guys.
All right.
Enjoy the
All
rest
right,
of the
man. You take
podcast.
care now.
Oh
Thank you for
man,
having me.
yeah,
And I
man.
think, thanks, Elliot. Stay talking.
Yeah, man. We'll have you on the next time.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Heck yeah, we gotta talk about Boba Fett because Boba.
And
Bye-bye.
Ahsoka.
Sounds good.
All
Okay,
right.
see you guys.
All right, take care, man.
Peace, dude.
All right.
Now the final four.
Now
And
the
now there were
final.
4.
All right. Who's next?
Brandon.
Brandon. Let's go, Brandon.
Brandon, you want to go? Brandon, you want to go next or?
No, I can go. What's one I've been thinking of? Well, I would like to see one for maybe for let's change it up a bit. Probably go for something with Transformers related. I like Megatron, because in some of the original stories, he started off on Cybertron as like in the slums, and in order how he made his name known is that he ended up going to like underground gladiator ring, and he made his name known all the way to the top. And then eventually Starscream and all that started to work, respected him. And then he decided to cause a revolution that eventually started the whole civil war on Cybertron. And we all know how that ended up. So I would like to see something related with that story, because there's been a bunch of origins for him, origin stories. I would like to see something like some type of brawler, some type of like brawler style game with Megatron, like in the gladiator arena. Like how he started from like a nameless nobody to how
That
he
would
ended
be
up being
cool.
so feared and respected.
If there's one thing,
That. Oh, go for it.
no, go.
I was thinking that sounds similar to a concept as Far Cry. And if you ask me, Far Cry and Transformers together would make for an interesting mix-up, if you ask me. Working your way from the bottom to make yourself a tough, badass Megatron, you know?
Yeah, Megatron, or maybe because also changing for a little bit, Optimus, depending on the origin story, he started off as just like another guy who was a librarian. Eventually, he ended up getting caught in the middle of the Civil War. And if I remember correctly, I think he had a partner, like a romantic partner, and she ended up getting killed. And Optimus, he had a different name at the time. I forgot what it was. He had also getting critically injured. And I think Sentinel Prime or one of the other Autobots, they decided to like bring him back. And they renamed him and fixed him up, and he ended up joining with them as Optimus Prime. There's a whole bunch of origin stories for that. I would also see something similar with that.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool because we only really see like the Cybertron games is like how the Cybertron War came to be, and then obviously
And how
when
it
that-
ended and how they ended up
Yeah.
fleeing Earth and all that stuff. I would like how it was for Insomniac with the War for Cybertron and all those old games.
yeah.
I would love to see something like that again. But
But how
how
did
it started, what started
Yeah.
it, not
Like,
in
that'd be kinda
like during
cool,
the
like-
war.
That's really something. That's really something that the Transformers things have never really gotten to, right? Like we've never
It's only
really,
been explained in the comics.
yeah, we've
They
never
always
really
glo-
seen it.
Yeah, they always gloss over the details. We don't go into the specifics ever.
And from what
Yeah.
I've read, like some of the stuff they did cover during like the war, it got pretty graphic. And I would love to see more on that, like a rated M Transformers game in like how the war started and how nasty it was. Because it also referenced how did like Optimus become the leader, like because different versions how he did, how he ended up being forced to be in charge and keep everyone alive and give hope, while also trying to bring everybody together, while Megatron and the Decepticons were slaughtering everybody.
Yeah.
Makes you question. I would love to see something like that. Like how the origins, like for both characters who eventually become arch rivals of their own factions, and how they end up clashing in the Civil War. How Cybertron was pre-war. Because everything we've seen about it was pretty much
Yeah.
destroyed. The planet was
be
basically destroyed to
interesting.
the point that the planet literally died. I would love to see like how it was before the war ended up before they started fleeing from Cybertron. Because
That
I
would be
know,
pretty cool.
Yeah.
that would be interesting. I've always wondered about that, but I'm just curious why it was never put in. Like the idea never clicked with anybody.
I think it's because Saints Row took that idea and stole it from Cybertron. If you ask me, especially the third one. with
Don't remind me of Saints Row, please.
The third, you got the flying, rotating Destiny type of sword.
We got the dubstep gun that forces everybody to dance. Jeez.
Exactly. Don't get me wrong; it's a cool concept, but the whole game as a whole was just wonky. And then I don't know. It could be something along the lines of Saints Row the Fourth, where you play as this souped up Decepticon, right? But only instead of you starting from the top, being the president of the United States, for some weird ass reason, you can start at the slums. It can start off like a GTA type ripoff, but then it starts developing more into like an integrated type of battlefield type simulator. As the war gets,
I could see something like that.
Crushed.
Yeah, I could see something like that happening. Like that was always an idea for Transformers I always had in the back of my mind since I grew up with it, like, and loved it to this day. I always wondered, like, I would love to see a concept like, because we have so many different versions of them fleeing Cybertron to the world basically dying in the show and like the cartoons and in the movies. I would love to see like how Cybertron, what his life's like. What was Ironhide's life? What was Ratchet's life before the war started, and they ended up becoming soldiers? Hell, what was Bumblebee doing before he was forced to join the Autobots? Because depending on the version in the original, I think he was basically, to put it with human age, he was basically a teenager caught in the middle of the war.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love to see what was he doing before everything broke out, like before the Civil War and everything, and what were our fan favorite characters were doing before they were forced to pick sides. Like Starscream's origin in the original, I think if I remember correctly, he was like a miner. He was like a miner that mined asteroids, if I remember correctly. Something like that.
Yeah, something along those lines. Maybe we can get like mini missions of them, like flesh out their backstories before they all come together in like one big Avengers style.
Exactly.
battle.
And how did Megatron became so bloodthirsty and unrelenting?
Yeah.
Like, was he always like that, or were there some circumstances that actually made him what he was? Things like that. I would love something like that. Or was he just born that evil and psychotic?
One of the problems that I always had with like the older Transformers games was that, like, I don't know, they just didn't feel like, I know that the Michael Bay movies aren't very good. I know. I also know that I'm not the biggest Transformers fan. I know that. I like Transformers. If there's a Transformers movie coming out, my lizard brain is activated. I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm going, because at the end of the day, I enjoy just like I love all that shit.
Me too.
If there's one thing that the movies got right, in my opinion, it's the transformations. Like, and how they moved, and how they fought. Like, shit on Michael Bay all you want, but he's really good at doing those action moments. So if they made
explosions aside, of course.
Yeah, obviously. But like, we can all agree that like the first Transformers movie, those action sequences were like, holy shit.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's no argument there. Yeah.
The whole fight with Bumblebee and Barricade when they first fought.
Oh my god, yeah. And it's not even that though. The fucking fight on the highway between Optimus and I forget his name, the excavator dude. I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. Like, I would really like a new Transformers game that makes the fight moments seem like really intense, because like those movies really they really did it well. And like,
yes, I will say, even though they got worse and worse as time went on, I will say that I will give credit to Bay for this, that the action scenes, and basically all 5 of them were really good. Besides like the whole thing in the, what was it, Dark of the Moon, when Sentinel betrayed everybody.
Dark of the Moon, the final act of Dark of the Moon was just like, I'm about to give you so much Transformers like transformation porn. You're gonna leave this movie with like nothing left.
And actually casting Leonard Nimoy as Sentinel Prime, man, that is just fan service right there. That is
That literally
ultimate
was.
incarnate.
That literally was. And he nailed it like that old voice because Sentinel always had different origins as well. But that idea of him betraying them was very interesting.
Yeah. If you ask me, that's one of the
It
more
caught me off
dramatic
guard.
ones. And freaking he shoots Ironhide in the heart, man.
Dude, don't remind me of that again. I remember when I watched the first Transformers movie when my parents took me as a kid, and I saw Jazz, who I love from the cartoons, get ripped in half by Megatron. I was like this in the theater. I was frozen like that for like.
It was a very
2
sad
minutes.
moment.
And his first impression, the first impression you get of Jazz is, to me, it's funny. A lot of people say it's ridiculous because it seems pandering because what's cracking, little bitches? This looks like a cool place.
Well, one thing they don't understand is that Jazz has always been that snazzy. He was he's Optimus's best scout aside from Bumblebee.
Yeah, and they learned the language through WWW, the World Wide Web, you know. So of course it's going to be a little bit dated, you know. It makes sense.
Yeah. And that also shows, like, even though they weren't on Earth for that long, like when they arrived, how quickly they picked up the human language.
That to me is impressive. And these are an alien warrior race, you know.
Yeah, like not even the Fallen would speak human language in the beginning.
Yeah, the only thing we got is my Matrix. And I'm just like you're gonna have relations.
But one thing I do get credit for Revenge of the Fallen, I will get credit for this, is the very beginning scene where you see the primitive humans and like with the pyramid with that big generator for the pyramid.
Mhm.
That was with the Fallen being there in one of the original comics. That was actually something a bit out of some of the original comics too. So I get credit for Bay for that.
Yeah, but like that's what I would really like to see in a Transformers game. And that's something that I don't think like any Transformers game has like done yet. Like the make the fights and everything. Like even in I know you guys lost your shits when the movie came out. The Bumblebee movie, the beginning, when they just drop you in the war for
In
Cybertron.
the very beginning of it,
And like
yeah,
even in that movie, it was like, yeah, like I like the grittiness. I like the really slow transformations and then like using the momentums and all that kind of stuff. Like that if they did that, that would be a top tier Transformers game.
I mean, they've been doing it for like a couple of years, like over 10 years at this rate, with terms of doing the transformations. I would love to see something like that too.
Just imagine, just imagine you're a Transformer is like in a jet form, and then like you're flying over the city, and you could just like, you know, transform right out and land in like a super cool hero fashion, like a super cool hero landing.
Yeah, a superhero landing. You know, as soon as you transform out of that freaking jet, like you're just parachuting like this, you know. And then you can have this option like a Spider-Man. It's like you dive in, right? And then you do a nice,
or you could do like
that does,
or you could incorporate like transformation moves. So like if you're a car and you're going like 200 miles per hour, you can literally transform out of the car and just come out punching another Transformer in the face or something like that, using that momentum.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of like a combo in a way.
Yeah, like using those combo moves that you see all the time in like those movies. Again, I understand that like the Michael Bay movies, plot wise, they're pretty bad.
The plot was pretty all over the place.
They're pretty bad,
plot,
but you know, like if there's one thing he got right, it was just like those really cool moments.
I will say real quick about Bay's films. Aside from the action scenes, the dialogue was also not the best.
Yeah,
especially with Sam. But like each movie was basically a different plot line, and like what started with the old Spark, then turned to the Fallen. Then all of a sudden we got things like that all the way to Dark of the Moon, and then we got the last one, which was complete shit.
Shockwave, or what was his name? Galvatron.
Galvatron, I had no problem with Galvatron. That was actually a very interesting way of having Galvatron. But I will say, just the plot made no sense. The first one had a pretty solid plot, but everything else after that just fell flat.
Like for example, what was the point of having T.J. Miller in the movie, man? Like, are you gonna like if that wasn't a way for him to like like shoehorn in his kind of stand-up comedy type stuff. I mean, that was the first impression I had of the guy. You know,
Oh,
and
and,
it's
and
just
like, hey,
oh man,
hey, and we got Mark Wahlberg, guys.
yeah. What?
No way.
Mark Wahlberg money.
But yeah, so I would love to see like
Elliot, we
game
haven't heard
based on that.
I would agree there.
Don't,
Elliot, what
don't
about
mind
you, man? What do
don't
you
mind the
think?
ginger. He's just chilling.
Well, my Wi-Fi is being slow, so I don't want to start making some random noises and people think like, is Elliot being abducted by aliens? And like, no, I'm still here.
No, we can hear you.
No, we got you.
We can hear you
All
fine, man.
Oh,
Say again. What'd you say?
what is
Goal.
what is happening?
My Wi-Fi is really slow for some reason.
You and Andres' Wi-Fi
Hey.
both are pretty bad right now.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
What's
Thanks.
going on?
Thanks. Anyway, but no, I agree. I think having a game with Megatron will be really amazing to kind of see how the Autobots and Decepticons are a piece of what was the tipping point that was like, okay, we need to have a civil war on Cybertron. And so I think that'd be really cool. And just to see where he came from the slums, like I guess I'm pretty much just wrapping up what everyone said, but yeah, no, I would love that idea. Then it maybe like it doesn't have to be one game. It'd be kind of cool if it was like a trilogy or something. Like it,
Yeah,
'cause
like a build up.
so much. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, and because like the Transformers movies, like I don't really care about the humans. I really care about the robots.
No one cares
That's what
about the
we're there
humans,
for.
bro.
Like,
No one cared. No one, to be honest, no one ever really ever cared for the humans. The only time people actually cared for the humans was from the OG1 cartoon from the 80s.
Yeah, even they because they were funny. They had personality. They mattered.
Yeah, and how they actually got along.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Well, and I forgot Haley
yeah.
Steinfeld's name, but she was pretty cool in Bumblebee. Like that was really it.
Bumblebee-
Oh,
Like
Bumblebee
in my
was-
opinion, like Bumblebee is like
The exception.
Yeah.
yeah,
Ken didn't really like Bumblebee that much.
because
but
he
his
doesn't
girlfriend's
like
in it.
Yeah, Haley Steinfeld. That's my girl.
Now she's gonna play Kate Bishop in Marvel.
Oh yeah, she's gonna
That
take the
girl's
man
moving
to the
up.
hog, man.
Yep. Anyway, any other thing, Brandon?
I don't know. I said my part for this one.
Are we only?
They are Andrew.
I'm partial to if Alejandro. My God, my old manager. my old supervisor. Andres, if you want to go first, I'm okay with that.
Sure. Okay. As far as a character who deserves their own video game in I've been thinking about this for the longest of times, and even then I still have trouble putting it into words. Okay, bear with me here. It would be a Gandhi.
That
Really?
did not
I did not
go,
expect that.
That did not go the way I no. Oh my God.
No,
Okay.
just hear me
That's
out. on
interesting.
this.
Now I gotta hear this.
Just bear with me. A video game about Gandhi, because like a lot of people see Gandhi as like this peace and love, like a Ringo Starrian type of benevolent leader, standing up against the British power, which I'm not taking that away from him. Of course, that's amazing. But I feel like that's a whole part of history that has to be, there's a little bit of history that's just being sidelined a little bit, it's not being talked about. And it's the fact that, maybe like, okay, I know I go back to GTA a lot, but maybe Gandhi, like we can have a simulator where he's growing up. Let's start with the Last of Us type simulator, right? Where Gandhi's just growing up as a kid in the slums of India, trying to make ends meet, growing up poor, humble, of course. And, how do you say, living through oppression, right? Just living through like a very bad time, you know, the British power have them by a chokehold like this, you know, and you know, initially you play as his dad or his mom or something like that. You guide Gandhi through certain paths to avoid danger, right? I'm taking liberties with the reality here. Let's say that his dad dies and his mom has to carry him away to some far off land off the outskirts where the British power don't hold that much authority. He grows up, he has a normal childhood, but then he starts learning a little bit more about, you know, helping others, helping humanity, help for thy fellow man, which is great, you know. But then he starts experiencing debauchery a la Saints Row or GTA, you know, where he starts going to local clubs, he starts living a little bit, living the lifestyle, you know, like a teenager would, you know. And, you know, maybe you would have some sort of morality meter from what was this game called? With Cole McGrath. It was
Infamous.
Infamous. Yes. You would have this morality meter where deep down in your soul you would have to choose between honoring your mother's wishes by staying away from the clubs and debauchery, or going with your further animalistic instincts and just having a great ass time. Both have their benefits to it, you know, but like it's kind of like a replayable type of mess in a way. Like it branches off in different stories like that, you know. And you know, as you start growing in notoriety and power, you start to feel it. You start to feel like, hey, you have some real authority here, you know. So you can take cues from like Citizen Kane or Star Wars, you know.
Like a civilization almost kind of thing.
Something like that, or like Knights of the Old Republic, you know, something like that, where morality, you choose where exactly it is that you want to go. And the fun part about it is like it's got multiple endings, but only one is the true like
historical ending.
Historical ending. You have to be the one who finds it out without looking at Wikipedia.
It's just like Civilization 6, where Gandhi could either be the peaceful motherfucker that he is, or he could be a
warmonger,
a nuke throwing warmonger.
Yeah,
thanks to Civilization games for that.
And neither of the two extremes are the accurate story, because no one is all good, no one is all evil. There has to be some kind of branching path that goes along into the middle, and it just tells the story of Gandhi, or the story of a humble man, you know, who through adversity just wanted to help people out. He had a few hoes along the way, but on the long haul, it's all good.
It sounds like a Detroit Become Human kind of game.
Yeah.
In terms of like the decision making.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Gandhi though, that's interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, I was about to say Yandi for Kanye West, but I think Gandhi would be a much more respectful title to the name. I mean, yeah. So any thoughts about my Frankenstein monster video game called Gandhi?
I mean, I feel like it's pretty cool. I know that there's a bunch of people who enjoy the whole historical thing. They like playing those kinds of games.
A lot of history buffs will be pissed off. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
I mean, remember with Assassin's Creed, how the whole George Washington DLC, how George Washington, he found the Apple of Eden and he became actually.
Oh yeah, that was
the dictator
King
that he
George.
was.
Yeah, that was just people being stupid, in my opinion.
Yeah. But people can get that ridiculous at times.
Yeah. And that was like as far as I'm concerned, I didn't think they depicted it as real life. I mean, that was like an alternate, like what if.
Yeah, it's an alternate reality.
Yeah, it's an alternate reality and stuff like that.
Hey, that's what especially when it comes to like other shows and like animation as another example, how they make a lot of fan fiction.
Yeah.
A lot of them can actually turn out to be one. Because there's some like, I found this channel just appeared on my recommendations one day. It was for that anime High School DxD. And basically it was a fan fiction of like, what if, what was the main character? I think his name is Issei. If he was betrayed by his friends that he trusted with his life, how would he spiral? Would he go freaking become a villain, or will become more cynical. There's so many interesting stories of it. I literally listened to one full story, even though I've never watched the show. I don't know anything about it, but it sounded very freaking interesting how he found out his Tron visions from the people he thought were his friends. He heard them talking behind his back, even his childhood friend, the one they considered his brother, one he thought he loved, and how they talked behind his back about him, and he just snapped.
Ooh.
There's some
and those are the things to consider, those are the things to think about. Like, well, what if he went down a different path? Or
I do that with Star Wars all the time. I come up with fan fictions in my head all the time.
Right? Because it's too tempting not to wonder what would happen if these characters just chose a different path. Like,
Like what if Qui-Gon didn't die?
What if Kylo Ren wasn't gay or something like that?
Wow.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I think Kylo's A-okay. Maybe. But that's what I'm thinking about, What if,
Sorry, I got some homophobic vibes from my.
The what?
I got some homophobic vibes because it's like I don't think he's gay. I'm just kidding. He's fine. And I'm like, wait.
I mean, he kissed Rey.
Yeah. But don't remember that was because they were friends, not because it was a relationship.
Right.
That's right. It was a homie kiss. It was a homie kiss.
It was a
On the
homosexual kiss.
It was a what?
It was a homosexual kiss.
It was a homosexual kiss. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Like at all. Like whether he swings for this side or that side.
Or he swings both ways.
Yeah, or even both ways like this. The point is he got his ass beat by a girl. But
What do you think?
Wow, all right. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow, Gandhi.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Interesting.
speaking of,
I personally don't know much about Gandhi. I should though, but it'd be kind of interesting for myself who don't know much about the character to kind of see his past, see what happened with him, how he got to where he was today, and it'd be kind of interesting, and it'd be good because a lot of there's a kind of a readership decline, I think, in our generation. It'd be kind of cool to get people interested to that kind of thing. Like I get interested in history because of Night at the Museum, so maybe something like that would be good exposure for people to read.
That's true.
So yeah,
man. I mean, given that there's some, concurrently there are some leaders who have good intentions but are kind of misguided. You have to look back at ancient history and be like, okay, this is how these guys did it. This is how you're gonna get with these hoes, and you're gonna get with these cities, and you're gonna rule those.
Especially with like the Egyptian pharaohs and stuff.
It'll be a pretty cool.
Yeah.
It'd be a pretty cool historical epic game kind of deal.
Yes.
And you got to make sure to put the disclaimer. Not everything is historically accurate because people will get peeved if you don't put that disclaimer in there.
Oh yeah.
There are those people.
Spoiler alert: Caesar dies.
damn it.
Hey, why'd you do that? Now Twitter's gonna be in an uproar and want to cancel you.
Wow.
323 BC or something. I don't know when he died, but
I don't know.
something like that. Yeah. All right, Jose.
Speaking of Rome, Jose, please.
It's such a hard question. It's weird for me because I'm in a spot right now where a lot of the things that I've been wanting are kind of happening. Like for the longest time, I was like, man, why doesn't Marvel make a Wolverine game? And then literally 2 months ago, Insomniac is like, hey, by the way, we're doing a Wolverine game. And it's like, oh shit. I screamed bloody murder for that. I don't know.
That was me with KOTOR, but I understand what you're saying.
The KOTOR remake, I cannot wait for.
I've never screamed for any announcement, but when I saw that, I screamed like a little girl. I was so happy.
Yeah, it's gonna be so good. I hope it's probably gonna be like Final Fantasy VII remake, where it's completely changed. Like even the gameplay's changed. Like you're probably gonna be.
I personally won't mind as long as they keep the concept the same, like the story and everything properly done right.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I because the gameplay is a little. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little
No,
boring.
no, trust me. Even when the gameplay itself, if you don't count the story, the gameplay itself can be very repetitive and very clunky.
Yeah,
People literally call it Bioware's clunky masterpiece for a reason.
yeah, it's yeah. That's one of the only reasons why I barely got through KOTOR when it came out. I think if I'm being completely honest, it'll probably never happen because just thinking about what kind of game it would be, because it's kind of difficult to make this universe into some kind of video game that is, I don't know, mass marketable. I would in the future maybe one day.
Thatcher.
Huh?
Margaret Thatcher.
Margaret Thatcher. And now she's
The
screwed.
Iron Lady.
The Iron Lady rated M for mature.
The Iron Maiden.
No, Dune.
Dune.
Dune, yeah. Like the movie that just came out. I'm a huge Dune fan. I love Dune. It's fucking amazing. I love everything about it. But
Did you read the books?
I've read them, yes. I'm rereading them right now.
Nice.
What's it called? I love that universe. I love everything about it. And I understand though that like it would be really difficult to make a game that's marketable because it's kind of it's I don't know, like I feel like a Telltale game in the Dune universe would be kind of cool.
That could work. Actually.
Or maybe some kind of cool, I don't know, space exploration game in that set in that universe, and like having all of those political things happening where you have to kind of like have to, or you could do a prequel video game set in the Butlerian Jihad when it was humans trying to destroy all thinking machines. Like that would be cool, but yeah, I would love to see that one day. I don't think it ever will happen because it took this long for a good Dune adaptation to come out, so in a movie form. So it's probably going to take same amount of time for a good video game format to happen. But
How long did it take to make the Dune movie?
Well, the thing is that this is the third adaptation to a Dune film / TV show. But this is by far the best.
Oh, there's a
Was good.
There was, yes, sci-fi. There was a sci-fi Dune miniseries that came out like in the early 2000s.
Oh, wow.
And that's still to this day the only non-book adaptation that did the third book, Children of Dune. And on a little bit of a Easter egg, that was one of the first gigs that James McAvoy ever did. That got him that kind of started making his name.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Interesting.
James McAvoy played Paul Atreides' son, Leto II, in the Children of Dune adaptation.
Wow.
So, very
So
baby.
that's how he basically got his
Very
start.
baby-faced James McAvoy, an extremely baby-faced James McAvoy. Look it up. Seriously, James McAvoy, Leto II. All right, you'll see it.
That's crazy.
That was a pretty good adaptation. I'm not gonna lie, it was decent, but then you also have to remember, I don't know if you guys have ever seen like any sci-fi movies, but you know that those sci-fi movies, the special effects are a bit rough.
Yeah,
That's
they're
to say the
especially.
least, yeah.
Have you seen the Sci-Fi Channel?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like if you've seen a sci-fi movie, you can basically guess how the CGI and stuff looked in that Dune adaptation for them. But this one, though, the movie that just came out now, I've seen it like 4 times in the movie theater.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
This was the one. This was it. Like I was like, yep, can't wait for part 2 in 2 years. But yeah, I don't know how they would do it in a video game format though. That's something that I would like to see, but I'm also simultaneously sitting here like
honestly with something like that, I don't know much about Dune, but from what you said about it, I can honestly see like a Telltale series or like a Detroit Become Human type of situation.
I think that like a Detroit Become Human kind of game would fit that the best, so that you could really focus on the cinematic quality of it and then have it be more about the choices that you make, which is a lot about what Dune is. Dune is about making. Dune is a story about a kid who has to make a lot of really tough decisions.
Yeesh.
But so yeah, I would like to see something like that, but at the same time, I can also see it being one of those like auteur games that nobody really bought, but it's secretly really good. Like, so yeah, and I don't know if it's okay if I do a second one, Elliot. Is it okay if I do a second one or? Oh, okay. This one I've actually thought quite hard about. I would really like an open world Blade Runner game.
Whoa!
Akin to Cyberpunk.
Done right.
Well, the thing is, I've always liked Cyberpunk since it came out. The only thing that I hated about it was that they were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, if you're on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, you can't really play this game because it's gonna fry your motherboard." But like, I bought it on my PC, and when I tell you that, like, yes, it was full with glitches. It was the moment I
played it too, Dave.
The moment I booted up the game, and like the first car chase happened, my character would literally just T-pose like right out of the car.
What I say?
And then like it would really like suck the immersion of like these two characters having a conversation, my character, and then she's just like, yeah, we need to go do this thing. And it's like I can't take you serious.
No, I agree with you there.
But there are moments.
There were some really good moments.
But like whenever the game was working properly, and I would just be walking the streets of Night City, it was so fucking cool. Like they got that
factor right.
They did a lot.
Right.
They got the aesthetic. They got the sound design. The
atmosphere.
The atmosphere, the big boomy bass of like a big like tractor rolling past you and all that kind of stuff, and like the 80s synth music and all that kind of shit. I like.
They even did a custom soundtrack for this game. That's how hardcore they went into this.
Yeah, they did. That soundtrack is fire though. It really.
I love the soundtrack. I listen to that on repeat a lot.
The mission that got me hooked in that game was the first mission you played as Silverhand, as Johnny Silverhand.
Yes.
When you try to take down the
Arasaka.
The Arasaka thing. That was a mission that, like, for the first time the game did not glitch at all. So I was like, yes, right? This is good. This is what I want a Blade Runner game where you can choose whether you're a replicant or a human. You can choose your faction. Are you a criminal? Are you a Blade Runner, or are you maybe some big corpo kind of person? And just have this really intense story of like, I don't know. You can have like so much shit happen in 24 in
a cyberpunk universe like that, especially with Blade Runner.
You could have so much shit happen, and I wouldn't even care if it's canon or not. I could give less than a shit about the canonness.
I don't care if it'll be canon.
I don't even and like, if you want to have a character from a movie show up, like if you want to have Deckard make like an appearance, go ahead. I don't give a shit. But I think that like that would be such a cool video game, have like a GTA style thing where instead of modern Los Angeles, you have 2049 Los Angeles, and you can like, and I mean, come on, we have PlayStation 5s now, we have Xbox Series X's, we have PCs. I'm pretty sure somebody could create this expansive world, this expansive place where you could do so much shit. I don't know, like that would just be.
I've always loved
so
the cyberpunk style worlds. Like there's so much potential with it.
Yeah, and like I said, it's Blade Runner. If you get any seasoned writer to go in there, I'm more than sure they could make a story.
It'll be a field day.
I'm pretty sure they could write a story that is so fucking good.
It would. It can be like a show don't tell type of thing, you know, where you start off at the police station, right? You're an up and coming smart ass crook, you know, but you play by your own rules, like a Dirty Harry type of thing, you know. It doesn't have to be Deckard. Yeah, it can be a completely new character, you know. Yeah, a punk.
Yeah.
Play by your own. But you have your own morality, you know, and so like you don't kill people in cold blood, and plus like you run across a replicant who gives you the puppy dog eyes, and it seems like, oh man,
yeah,
I don't want to hurt no one, you know. And then you
partner
partner up with this thing, you know, and so you team up with this replicant to take down other replicants, you know. From there, it could be really interesting.
That would be
back
and like the whoever's the art team for that, they would probably have a field day, because it's like you're literally creating 2049 Los Angeles, and like if you've seen Blade Runner 2049, you know what I'm talking about. It's such it's such a beautiful movie to look at. So
And
it, like
it's
imagine
such beautiful, all the shots of just the city. Not even the main characters don't even have to be in, just the shots of the city throughout the film. Just my
so
god.
like just imagine being able to play in that world and like choose your destiny. Like I don't know. And obviously this game would have this would be a giant game. This would be like a multiple endings kind of game. Also, depending on like,
Sounds like a decade-long project.
It would take a while, but I feel like if somebody like really focused in on it, I feel like
and had the passion for it.
Yeah, they could really pull some really cool concept. And we have the power now. You know, we have the power.
Yeah, now we do.
The PlayStation 5. I have a PlayStation 5. This thing is fucking powerful. Like the things that it's powerful. So I'm really that's a game that I've been thinking about for like the longest time.
I've always thought about something like that, especially after playing Cyberpunk. I honestly was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, it's like
I would love to see something like this done right.
If you do it right, you have a money maker there. If you pull your resources correctly.
Like, yeah, and put Monica Bellucci in the game too.
Yeah, Monica Bellucci, the Italian queen.
Yeah, she is the Bond girl that never was, but always will be in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I know Margaret Thatcher.
Margaret Thatcher, the video game.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Like, yeah.
All right, so
that's really for me.
So right now, for characters who deserve a game, wow, I never thought Zerg and Gandhi would be the same list, but
I'm right.
Zerg,
only the basic nerd experience.
Zerg,
only on this channel.
Only on this channel.
That's what separates us from the rest of the
Zerg, Invincible, Megatron, Gandhi. Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
we can hear you.
Your video,
but it's making it's cutting out a lot though.
Yeah, your video's a little laggy, but that's about it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why my Wi-Fi sucks. So I'm gonna do Zerg, Invincible, or sorry, the list to go back is Zerg, Invincible, Megatron, Gandhi, Dune / Blade Runner, and yeah, those are the choices.
This list, when you read it back, this list
started off so solid and just spread right out the deep end.
Mm-hmm.
Happens all the time. That's why you can't have a strict structure when it comes to things like this.
Yeah. But whenever developers need ideas for games, they can just come to us, look at this video, and just be like, "Oh man, these guys are freaking genius."
I mean, talk to Rare Studios and bring back Donkey Kong.
Hell yeah, and freaking Banjo-Kazooie and shit. I love that.
And a remake of GoldenEye.
Oh my god!
With the multiplayer coming back and bring Satellite back. Satellite map.
Oh, and do a sequel to Conker's Bad Fur Day, like
oh my
bigger,
god,
blacker, more extreme, more uncensored. Yeah.
Oh my god, that would be cool. that would be
awesome.
The times sure have changed, so it could probably make it in today's market.
It would.
I mean, have you seen the stuff that's come out there?
A new Conquer, that would be like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Do you know how many like corporate America jokes you can make in that shit now?
And many EA jokes.
The Animaniacs are back. Conquer can sure as hell do it.
The new Animaniacs is hilarious. Oh shit. The new Animaniacs is really cool. I love it.
I've seen previews of it, man. I haven't seen it. I have to start seeing that, but I've seen
previews of it too. I don't know what to expect.
There, it's exactly as it used to be. It's off the wall. It's off the wall humor. It's everything that, like, you know, if you've watched Animaniacs before, you're gonna be happy with it.
That's good. That's a good.
I'm watching it then. Yeah, it's on Netflix, right?
It's on Hulu, unfortunately.
Hulu, gotcha. I'm gonna have to re-download that shit. Yeah.
Am I gonna have to get back at the subscription just for like 2 days, watch the whole show, then cancel it again?
Exactly. That's how it is.
I mean, that's
Oh.
what I did with Disney Plus when I watched Mandalorian.
I mean, I just
So.
have a bunch of streaming services and I don't have cable. So there you go.
Oh yeah,
Who watches TV anymore?
right.
Exactly. Everything that
Yeah.
I watch is on fucking streaming services. So
I mean, only thing now on TV is just the news, and you know how the news media is all negativity.
Yeah, and all sports channels too. You know, you got Texas and Atlanta last week, and it was awesome.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but everything's on streaming service nowadays, and it's be pretty interesting with some of the ideas people can come up with, and like probably change up the norm. You know, the normal routine of what franchises to expect. I mean, one thing I will get credit to, like the E3 and the presentations showcases they showed this year, is a lot of the new game concepts that they're coming out with.
Yeah, it seems like they finally got out of that stupid rut of remake, sequel.
Disney clearly
another
hasn't.
Let's do a Stephanie Meyer adaptation of the freaking Host. No, it looks like they're finally gonna go original and stuff. And
Like that's one thing I
something
will
that-
get credit for Microsoft doing in their showcase, is showing up a lot of indie studios in their projects.
Mhm.
That's why
Yeah.
I give respect for Microsoft for that. They're giving.
Microsoft learned their lesson from like the disaster that was the Xbox One.
Oh,
Oh,
don't remind me.
They learned their lesson hard because PlayStation basically they were like, oh thank you for the free win, and they just ran.
They
Yeah.
ran home with it all the way.
The PlayStation 4 won that era by far.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I agree.
What do you think won in the PS3 360 era?
No, the 360 had an edge. The 360.
Yeah,
I agree.
Because,
I had both,
because-
so I can understand.
because Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 looked much
Oh
better
my
on the Xbox 360 than
fucking
the
God.
Sonic 06, Sonic Boom.
Y'all are something else. Y'all are something else.
It's been a long time coming.
Thank
I
you.
know. We should do some more shit like this, guys.
I agree.
Just like
I
old
really
times.
much agree. Like I've been missing this shit for a long time, man. I need this.
I mean, the last time I spoke to anybody aside from like Ken has been like over a year, almost since like last July for me.
We've been trying to get in contact with you, Brandon.
I have not been on PlayStation in months. Like my PlayStation is right here under my desk, plugged in and everything, connected to my monitor. I just haven't had the reason to turn it off. I don't know.
You gotta send a smoke signal out to this guy, man.
I've always said it since the beginning. I'm terrible with communication.
Jesus Christ. Well, actually, I'll talk to you guys. I'll talk to you guys after we're done recording. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do you have some big news?
No, I was just gonna tell you something. That was about it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But
Yeah.
I don't want to be the dude who's like. I don't want to be the dude who's like, talking about random shit during the podcast.
Posse pooper.
Yeah, I know, right? That guy's annoying. That's typically me.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, we're also talking about the guy who's working at T-Mobile Metro.
Ken.
Wow.
The one that shall not be named. I
You know,
didn't say
I'm-
the name. You did.
I'm not.
the man who entered the chat with a Metro, but T-Mobile shirt on that guy.
Hey, that's not the speculation. I said no name.
It's the love of my life, bro. Metro PCS.
Speculation. Oh my God.
This is the love of my life. This is my home now. This is my family.
This is my home. This is my Dodge Charger, bro.
Oh my God. The salt is real right now, bro.
Oh Jesus.
She loved my life, which is my home.
All I wanted was to return home and sell cell phones.
Let's keep this going. So, I have one character who I would love to see have a video game.
All right.
Right?
Then after this, after my thing, if you guys have one more character you thought of, you can go. But then after that, we'll do the round where characters that need a new video or characters that had a game but need a new one.
Forget that was the second thing we were gonna do.
That's right.
Yeah.
Or we could do a part 2. It depends on how we do. This is kind of a historical figure again. That well, not really, but to me he is. I want to see a Lemmy game.
Oh, what?
Oh,
What?
Lemmy from Motorhead.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, well, let me get my Funko Pop with them.
You have a Funko Pop? Oh God, it's rubbing off on him too. First Ken, now him. Oh God,
Yeah, Lemmy, man. Like if you guys played that game with Jack Black from 2009 called Brutal Legend,
Yeah,
Lemmy is in that game and he voices one of the characters.
if it's Jack Black, then I can understand now.
Yeah.
Now I can
And,
understand. I don't know what that
Lemmy's in
game
it.
is, but I'll take your word for it.
I'll show you.
let me see if I have the game somewhere. Never mind.
Lemmy!
I forgot. I don't have. I thought I did, but it's somewhere. It's in my room somewhere.
It's somewhere in the ether. Yeah.
Yeah, it's over there.
It's,
to your Slipknot
it,
stuff.
it disappeared into the ether, into the air, the whole thing.
It's
Never
next
to
to
be found again.
somewhere under the Slipknot stuff. Yeah, it's over there somewhere.
Yes, it's by my shit. So I would love because for those people who don't know, Lemmy is a bass player and he sings. I mean, he sings like this, and he kind of like he sounds like,
brother.
He sounds like if General Grievous was smoking cigarettes, like that's Lemmy. So Motorhead is considered one of the founding fathers of heavy metal.
Yeah, that I do.
Black Sabbath. So I think it'll be, and Lemmy has seen some stuff. He actually used to be a roadie for Jimi Hendrix. So he used to always score
Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, always
Interesting.
he used to always give him he used to always help set up the equipment on stage and tour, and also help him score some drugs. So
Yeah, Jimmy, good old Jimmy.
Yeah, that was Lemmy's job. But that'd be kind of cool just to kind of see, because he's done some really cool, like he's seen a lot of cool stuff. Like he saw the Beatles before they had an album back in England. Like
so he's seen some shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And one story where it's actually in Lemmy's autobiography. I don't remember all the details, but I remember he was in one show and he saw the Beatles. And apparently, so as they're playing songs, one guy started yelling out, John Lennon is a faggot. And because what happened was that I think the manager of the Beatles at the time, or someone who was close in the Beatles, I think was gay. So this drunk guy got the information wrong and thought that, oh, John Lennon and this guy are in a relationship. So he starts spitting this out loud. And so then John Lennon obviously was like, no, that's not true. And then John Lennon leapt into the crowd, beat the guy up, and then went up back on stage and said, okay, this is Twist and Shout, and then started shout.
What a Chad.
Song, and then Lemmy saw that, and it was crazy. I believe, I don't remember all the details, but just stuff like, I'm not saying they have to do that moment in the game, but something like that, where you kind of see how he was able to see how bands were starting out, like how back then bands are just starting out, and how no one knew what they were doing with their instruments, that people just liked the idea that kind of the Music Man at the end of that movie, where people like the fact that they have an instrument in their hands, and people just like that, not even that they make great sound, and just the idea of it. But
yeah, what's up? I'm in a band.
Was it say again?
What's up? I'm in a band. You want to have relations?
Hey man, how you doing? I play those old those drums over there. It's only one, but it works.
I play the
fine.
bongos, man.
I play the bongos, man. That's all I get to play nowadays.
Jesus.
Bongo. Oh, I play the bongo and the triangle. I'm a pro.
The electric triangle. Yeah.
Oh, you can? But
and the harmonica.
Wow, aren't you versatile? But it'd be kind of
Hey, he loves
Wow.
music, right? He's obviously a
Yeah.
pro.
Wow, aren't you versatile?
Anyway,
Continue, Ellie, before we lose our mind.
ladies and gentlemen, we broke him.
Ladies and
Sorry,
gentlemen,
I
we
meant
got
to
him.
say but yeah, with Lemmy, it'd be kind of cool just to kind of see what he's like from how rock and roll was just starting out till where he was in his life. Like it'd be kind of cool, like in the opening shot, it's just like him like in a concert seeing like fans, and then like right when he was a kid, like that's something that'd be kind of cool, and just seeing. It'd be kind of cool, like if you're on stage, like he's like learning guitar, and it'd be like a Guitar Hero moment where like you have to, like it'd be kind of like you have to get an accessory, but it'd be kind of a way where you have to play guitar or something to go along with that, learn songs of it. Like as you're learning music, he's learning it, so it'd be kind of cool. Like the difficulty is easy, but then like when you get late into the game, the campaign, it's like harder. So the music is harder, so you have to pay attention more. So
That'll
you
be
can
good.
kind of grow with the character. With
I would love something like that. It'll be a good reason to bring Guitar Hero back.
Yeah,
That's true. A revival.
I grew up with Guitar Hero and I miss it dearly.
Yeah. That'd be, and that's my answer really. And he's also seen a lot of stuff like Metallica, not Metallica, or sorry, without Motorhead, there'd be no Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, like those guys. And so yeah, no, and it'd be kind of cool. Plus he's seen a lot of stuff. He's done so much stuff, and yeah, like he has a Grammy. It'd be kind of cool just to kind of see like there's like I'm not gonna get into it, but there's like a story about him. I kind of forgot it, but like about winning a Grammy and stuff like that. So I don't know, like stuff like that would be kind of cool, and it'd be kind of just like yeah, it's definitely the kind of game where like Detroit Become Human, when you say something like it's based on morale, but obviously he's the kind of guy where he's a nice guy. He's not going to be an asshole for no reason. So it'd be kind of cool, like more of like you're having fun, like what joke will he was say if you have a conversation, what joke do you choose, and then where does the conversation go from there, like stuff like that. So that's my answer. That'd be kind of cool.
That would be an amazing game. Like going off of that, there should be a DLC like the story of Lemmy
Just
underscore the story of Lemmy underscore the Ramones tale, because these two bands got along really, really well, because they like a lot of critics criticize them for being, these guys make the same song over and over again. And then they're the true fans who come in and say, they don't make the same song over and over again. You just listen to the same 3 goddamn songs all over again, man. And so like you can have these types of Mass Effect type of conversations, where you have this asshole from the Howard Stern show ask you, so what was it like to know Sid Vicious? And then like one of the singers from the Ramones comes in and says, he's dead. It can be like a comedic type of freaking game like that. It would be cool, like an expansion of a DLC on Motorhead story. Because these two bands got like this. I don't know, something like that would be cool.
Maybe something like how the bands like in a game like that could about show how the eventually over time as the game progresses, how the bands got big enough and legendary status like they are today.
Yeah.
Like how they started his career path, like seeing all these bands before they became well known what they are now to this day, and eventually the band that he was a part of gets more legendary over time to basically one of the best metal bands of all time.
Exactly.
I would love something like that.
And then at the end,
if it'll be a good reason to bring Guitar Hero back, I'd be the happiest man alive.
Yeah, and at the ending could be like a spin on the Red Dead Redemption, where you have this young curly-haired Puerto Rican guy who picks up a guitar, and then he starts practicing. He listens to the first Motorhead album, and he goes to his friends and he's like, you got to check out this new band. It's called, and then and then the credits roll. Yeah.
That'll be interesting. Like I said, if it gets an excuse to bring Guitar Hero back, I'm all for it.
I don't know if you noticed, but I was talking about Jose being being that last character over there.
No, I got it. Curly haired Hispanic guy.
Oh my god. Y'all are something else.
And Abdul will be there right with him.
That's right. Abdul's gonna be there, you know.
Well, let's keep this going. Do you guys have any other characters you'd like to see?
No, I'm good actually.
Jose, how about you, my man?
Like I said, man, like there's just I'm really trying to think, but I don't really got anything right now.
You don't have to think too bad. No, it's okay.
I mean, I would like actually no, that I'll save that for characters who already have a game who
Same.
need a
I
better
have some
game.
ideas. I have some
Yeah,
ideas.
same here. Same here.
How about you, Andres?
Don't look at me. I'm out of ideas.
Okay, so I guess we'll just go into the next round then.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay,
No
so
problem.
character. Oh, go ahead.
I said no problem.
Oh, I thought Andres said something. Sorry. I hate my life. Okay.
Now you got this, Mr. Journalist.
Thank you, Mr. Mailman. All right, Mr. Brandon Man.
I'm sorry. Continue. Go for it, Mr. Go for it. Go for it.
Mr. Goldfish.
Okay, so these are characters or worlds that I would like that we would like to see in a video game that get redux. Like they've had titles before, but it'd be nice if they had it was updated. I'm gonna start off with Tron.
Yo,
Ooh.
Tron. That's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it'd be because they had the first movie is pretty
Dated.
yeah. It's the one from 1982 is pretty I don't know. It's I mean I'm not gonna judge it harshly because it's like the first of its kind, but
Yeah.
but I don't know. It's just it was really the second one that really pulled me into the world. I liked it a lot more. But
It was
the
a
movie
pretty decent movie.
It was average. It was
Yeah.
yeah.
It was just CGI Jeff Bridges.
Mm.
The Uncanny Valley type Jeff Bridges, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get that like it's okay for it in that movie because he's technically in a computer world, so that's why the Uncanny Valley Jeff Bridges doesn't really affect me as much because most of the time you see that it's like in the Tron video game universe, so it's like, oh, you know, he can look a little gummy. He can look like a little gummy. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. But then it gets really weird when it's like Jeff Bridges facing off against Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, the ultimate Obadiah Stone face-off, man.
Oh, Obadiah Stone.
Haven't heard that in a minute.
Mhm.
Yeah. He's the dude, you know.
He's the dude, you know what I'm saying?
Dude.
Yeah, that's like your opinion.
Got that,
man.
Professor.
Yeah, and hey man, but that's like your opinion, man.
Yeah, man. That's what opinions are for, bro.
I have to rewatch that movie. I
Yeah, the
don't
Big Lebowski.
I don't remember a lot of it. I gotta
Me neither.
rewatch it.
Watched it like 10 years ago.
Yeah, I watched it a few months ago back with my bandmates, and I had no idea what the hell's going on. Well, I also was drunk, so that didn't help. But I should watch it.
That
so good.
that should be impeding on your understanding processes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with that movie.
Speech
But
impediments.
for Tron, we had a game called Tron Evolution, which was pretty good. It's been a while since I played it, but I don't know. It was a good approach on you create your own character. Well, you don't really don't remember. I mean, it wasn't really widely popular, but it was really more for the fans. And it kind of like went because when Tron came back to Disney, it had a slight. Oh, what was that?
I have no idea.
Oh, I know that scared you.
Something. I'll want to go check out what just happened really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can still hear you guys. Don't worry.
Okay, it's okay. I thought Andres farted. It was that bad. Anyway,
Jose doing Jose things.
yeah. But with Tron, like it didn't really do much. It had a slight interest with fans. Like they had the show Tron Uprising, which was like a couple seasons. Didn't really do much.
I heard something
Supposed to be,
about
like,
that. Yeah.
yeah, and it was like the events right before the movie, and it had this game, and I thought it was pretty cool. Like the trailer, I thought was really great. It was it was fun, and they had like these I don't know, like nowadays it'd be kind of fun to play a game where you were part of like these the light cycle battles, and you have like the you take out your disc and they have disc wars. Like it'd be kind of cool, but I have this really riveting story about, it'd be kind of cool like if we played a user, this guy or gal, who would go back and forth and go from the real world to the animated world, because like back like in the first movie, it kind of touched upon the reality affecting the virtual reality and about coding and stuff like that. In the second movie, we mostly saw them in the grid. So it'd be kind of cool if we're playing a video game, because the movie obviously takes place like kind of like in a video game setting. So it'd be kind of cool just to kind of see that. And it'd be interesting to kind of, it's kind of meta when you're really thinking about it. You're playing a video game, playing as someone who's inside a video game. That's kind of interesting.
That's the type of thing that you get from a guy who drank so much that he forgot the Big Lebowski, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, exactly.
And who looks like Kid Rock with long hair?
Kid Rock.
Wow.
Who else is Fedora?
Oh my God, Brandon, do you want to break up that quick story? Because I'm done with Tron.
I gotta hear this, please. What is the origin story of the fedora?
Okay, so basically just to sum it up, I think it was the second day we went to Fort Rock in 2018, and it was gonna be a really hot day, but he said, I think I'm gonna wear a hat today. And I said, okay, wear a hat, and then he pulls out the fedora that he wore, and I said, don't tell me you're gonna wear that to a festival. You're gonna lose that. And I said, no, I'm not gonna lose it. It's fine. It's fine. It'll be fine. It was fine till like in midday when we were there. I forgot who was playing. It was I think it was before the band, before Stone Sour played. I don't remember who it was. What?
Under Oath.
Under Oath, yes. It was during
it.
when Under Oath was performing, and we were like in the middle of the crowd. We ended up being caught at the edge of a mosh pit.
Oh God.
And with the mosh pit, you know how that never goes well. First, he was fine. He dropped the fedora a couple of times after getting knocked on the ground a couple of times.
Yeah.
And then
I didn't get knocked down.
I said your fedora.
Well,
You got hit, and your fedora got knocked out of your head.
Okay, I remember, but I wasn't like I.
No. I would have remembered that image more vividly. That was true.
That was fun. Funny.
But then he put it back on. Then next to us in the mosh pit were these two guys. They're already drunk. One was shirtless. He bumped into him and it knocked his fedora off onto somebody else's head. And then when he went to go try to grab it, they threw it all across the stage onto the stage.
No.
And then one of the security guards grabbed the fedora and just threw it out. And we never found it again.
It hit the bass player. And the bass player was like,
so what the
fuck?
And just threw it.
Then he just kind of flunked us.
And he never saw it again. I heard him go, no, my fedora.
No, my fedora. Aw.
Come back.
And then I went out to him and said, I told you not to wear a fedora today.
Dude.
I've had that since I was a kid, man.
I did.
Then why'd you wear it?
Because I was an idiot.
And then
That's hilarious.
And then, but then everything was all good because we got him Taco Bell at the end of the day before we got home. So it was
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
we watched
Good.
Drake and Josh. That was good.
We watched Chicken Josh, bro. We got Chicken Josh, bro.
But I never forget because I literally told him several times because when we drove to the park, I literally told him, "Jay, you don't want to get the fedora in the car?" I said, "No, it'll be fine. You're gonna lose it. I won't lose it. It's fine." Halfway through the show, it's missing. Rest in peace, fedora. You'll be missed. I just had to laugh how the bass player landed on the bass player's foot. He picked it up and threw it across onto the crowd, and we never saw it again.
Fucking sponge. The SpongeBob strumming is just so perfect for that.
Oh yeah.
And then I could just picture it in my mind, the fedora going across on the other side of the stage when he threw it into the crowd. I could just picture it going black and white and see Mr. Krabs playing the world's smallest violin.
Oh yeah. Well, Elliot sheds a single tear off of
Like-
his eye.
Yeah,
And I'm like, I told you.
I told you. Oh my god.
To this day, I still won't let it down. It was
Oh my
so funny.
Well, you guys hold up. You guys keep going. I have to use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back.
All right.
12
Okay.
hours later.
Wow.
So, do you guys have one in mind?
Characters that have a video game that could be done better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do actually. Godzilla.
I saw
Ooh.
this one coming.
Godzilla's had more than a few games.
Yeah.
The most recent one being quite a disappointment. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. The best game that he's received was on the GameCube.
Was that the one like the multiplayer where you can play as different ones?
Yep.
Like
Godzilla.
Yeah,
Godzilla
like-
Destroy All Monsters Melee. That's the best one. That to
I
this
heard
day.
about that one.
was great.
The one on the Wii isn't terrible, but it looks bad. It's not the best looking thing.
Godzilla's approaching the generator. The generator's losing power.
That's the PlayStation one, and that one can go suck my dick because that game sucks so bad. I just want
The
a
generator's
game.
losing power.
I just want a good fighting game. You know,
Yeah.
like port destroy all monsters melee what's it called to like newer graphics and everything, and just have fun with like what you can do now, like new graphics, new destruction, all of it. Just go crazy. Just go crazy with it.
Just have
Give
fun
us-
with it.
Give us more monsters. Give us some of the new monsters in the Monsterverse and all that kind of stuff.
Pull Sakurai from Smash Brothers.
No, let that man have a break.
No, that man has done enough. But I'm saying like in a similar way, like release characters like that over time that will surprise people that weren't expecting it.
Yeah, like
Sora in Kingdom Hearts.
I'm sure
Yeah.
it was flipping out.
oh, he lost his mind.
Hell, I was flipping the fuck out about that, man. Oh, finally.
I lost my mind when I saw Kazuya.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the
I love
fuck?
my mind with Margaret Thatcher.
I saw the cliff scene with the lava, and I'm like, this looks familiar. And then I'm like, oh
When I saw
my,
Margaret
he did it.
Thatcher, I was like, oh my God.
What'd you say, Elliot?
What?
I said I couldn't believe that Margaret Thatcher made an appearance in Smash Brothers.
Oh my god. But yeah, I feel like Godzilla deserves a good video game.
I agree.
A redo. I feel like
A full-on franchise reboot.
yeah, like they already did it in the movies. Just come on, like
It's the video game's turn.
Yeah, exactly. Because I still have my GameCube, and I still have my GameCube, and I still have Destroy All Monsters Melee on that motherfucker, and I love playing that game. I
miss the GameCube days, man.
And I don't know. There's something so satisfying about doing the uppercuts in that game, and then like hitting them, and then you just watch as the monsters go boom, or like throwing people and shit like that, and then like having I don't know. And I had such good memories of that game. I remember losing my mind because I could not beat Mechagodzilla. I could not beat Mechagodzilla in that game for the longest time. And then the one time I was like, I'm just gonna spam this one attack with like 2000s Godzilla, and I beat him, and I was like, it was my first Dark Souls moment.
Oh, Dark Souls. That takes me back to my PTSD.
Yeah.
Thanks, Artorias.
Are you ready for Elden Ring, Brandon?
Fuck yes.
Is that gonna bring you back?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Dude, I can't wait.
I'm so excited. I don't mind it being delayed. Take From Software, take all the time you need. Take all the time you need.
Elden Ring.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was just a myth for like over 4 years. It's now coming to fruition.
To fruition. Yo, I need something sadistic because I played Bloodborne around 3 years ago. That was not
Oh,
good
the
for
Bloodborne
me.
days.
Game of the
Yeah.
generation. I don't care what
Yeah.
anybody.
Game of the
I still remember
generation.
Abdul
It
could
did-
not beat the second
It did allow
boss.
me to.
Remember,
Oh
Jose?
my god!
I remember when he couldn't beat
Fuck.
Mikolash.
That motherfucker.
Yeah.
Bro, fuck that
Yeah.
shit. Fuck that dragon looking shit, man. Like, I can't remember
Which
for
one?
the life of me what number freaking vulture that thing was. But screw that thing because I
What thing?
flung my controller across my screen. I could not beat that thing.
What thing?
That big ass like it comes after the first freaking troll that you demolish. Like a big boy. I call him.
Are you talking about the
I
guy
call
that
him
hit you with a
Alfonso.
brick? Those big muscular,
Yeah.
those big dudes with the brick.
That big motorboat.
Yeah, those assholes. I hate those guys.
Away!
Yeah.
ex-
But
Oh.
yeah, that's mine. That's my 2 cents on it. Just give me a good Godzilla fighting game with like insane destruction and like give me all of the versions of Godzilla. Let me play as like the original 1954 with the mist breath. Give me like the 70s Godzilla and give him a move where he literally goes half the screen doing a freaking drop kick, just like yeah, give him a move where he uses atomic breath to like propel himself in the air or some stupid shit like that. Give me the 80s Godzilla where he was just metal. Like he did like so many Super Saiyan power-ups and all that kind of stuff. And then give me like the modern Godzilla, the one now who's like an utter badass.
Mhm.
Just give me all of them and then just do that. Just give us like the biggest monster roster.
Elliot
Cool.
looks like his imagination was violated, man.
I was thinking about American Dad. Anyway,
Okay.
who wants to go next?
I guess I'll go next.
Go for it.
You remember this was back in the OG Xbox days. You remember Star Wars Republic Commando?
Yeah,
Oh,
I do.
One of my favorite
Oh.
games
Imagine.
of
Thing
all
is-
time.
Yeah, the thing is that you could just make Battlefront and then give it like a Republic Commando campaign, and that would
Thank
still work, and that would
It would
still
still
be like,
work.
yeah, just give it like a really cool give us a really cool like campaign in Battlefront 3 whenever that shit comes out, because it's gonna happen. Like
Oh no! They're gonna do it. It's gonna
Battlefront 3
happen
will happen someday.
one day, probably in our old age. But
Yeah.
better
one
late
thing
than
that
never.
I remember vividly from Republic Commando is how when you start the game, you're literally on Camino, newly bred as a baby, and you see the Caminoans like right up on the other side of the glass.
Pinocchio?
Pinocchio.
Basically, over time, raising you over as you're training, and you eventually meet your future squad mates in the tutorial area.
Yeah,
Then eventually, when you're old enough, you're
Your
actually
future
being
what?
bred for special forces.
your future squad mates.
Yeah.
I heard future spouse. I was like,
What?
Then what? I mean, if there was a Star Wars game about that, okay, fine, go for it. I'm down.
Everybody has their kink.
Yeah.
like Death Day.
Okay.
Oh my God.
No, but eventually, like, you're gonna be sent out on your first mission to the Battle of Geonosis. And then over as you land, you since you're special forces, you see all the standard clone troopers. This is like in the early phase 1 trooper days. And as you fight through, you can hear the troopers commenting, you like, weren't expecting commandos or special forces. And then you just see the troopers getting mauled by the Geonosians. It's so sad. But
Maul.
yeah. Like they take you into their hive, never to be seen again, among other things. It's pretty scary. But then as you over time meet all your squad mates, Scorch, Fixer, and Sev, you start to work together and basically help finish the Battle of Geonosis. And each of them has their own specs for, like, Scorch is demolition, Fixer is the hacker, Sev is the sniper, etc., etc. And the second map, the second area where you go to is on a cruiser that's lost contact. And when you enter through space, by the way, you actually see Scorch doing a backflip into space from the airlock. And once you land, you actually find out that they were invaded by Trandoshans and trying to take over the cruiser. And you see it turns into almost like a survival horror type of thing. It's dark, like wiring all over the place, sparkling, and you just see troopers getting killed everywhere. And you just see, and once you get through the whole cruiser and you call support, you got to get rid of all the Trandoshans. I think, I don't know if they were pirates or mercenaries, I don't remember. But it just shows over time that your squad may start to bond over time and you start to become more fruition as a team. Then we get to Kashyyyk, like in episode 3. And at the ending, the way the game ends leaves a massive cliffhanger. And originally we were supposed to get a sequel to it, which we never got because it got canceled. The sequel was supposed to be Delta Squad, which is the name of your squad, actually being part of the Empire. This is after Order 66 happened. And because in the ending, you actually get separated from one of your squad mates. You were going to go to retrieve them to help them out, but you got orders to leave. You were forced to abandon them.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so the sequel is supposedly that Delta Squad, now under the Empire, doing like every other, like the Empire did at the time, hunt down Jedi and everything like that. And we were eventually going to find our squad mate again. And that got canceled during production. It was supposed to come out like 2007 or 2008, around there. And because Republic Commando came out, I think, like 2004.
Yeah, somewhere
Around there. I would love to see that franchise come back because it was a fan favorite, because it was one of the few Star Wars games that you didn't need to play as a Jedi. You were actually playing as a soldier in the Star Wars universe. Even if you were a clone or not, you actually got to play a soldier, special forces, and do standard missions that obviously standard troopers cannot do. I would love to see that again, but this time, instead of for the Republic, it's for the Empire. You're like your Imperial Special Forces. Because I remember the concept art that we saw was Delta Squad, still with their same Commando visor, the iconic visor, but in all white. Their iconic colors, the green, the orange, and what was it? I think 2 of the characters were orange, but either way, they were all wearing Imperial white colors. And as a concept art, I would love to see that franchise make a return and see the sequel we never got.
Mm-hmm.
Because
that would be something awesome.
Because the first game, you were part of the Republic. You were helping the Jedi, you were helping your fellow soldiers, and you were protecting protecting them. And the Empire, which we all know how the Empire operates, see how eventually maybe Delta Squad, maybe over time, develop morals once they rescue their squad mate that got left behind, or maybe you play as a squad mate Sev, who was forced to kill your squad mates, or maybe there's a redemption type of thing. Maybe they go in hiding from Vader or something like that. I don't know. I would love to see something like that happen again, because when I found out it got canceled, I was so sad.
Oh yeah, man.
It's one of the few Star Wars games that we actually got to see full boots on the ground. I would love to see that again. And mind you, this wasn't a first-person game. It was in first person. It was no third person. So I would love to see that again. Maybe in the future. Hell, have a fan recreate a sequel, unofficially, of course. But something that's supposed to resemble as like an inspiration for Republic Commando, because they recently ported over in a remake kind of way, ported over Republic Commando along with Jedi Outcast to the Switch. So
wait for that.
Maybe in the future we can get a sequel at some point if Disney can get the head out of their asses.
Yeah, first, like back then, like the Jedi Knight duology, I think, because I don't think they released a third one. It was
Jedi Academy and Jedi Outcast, if I remember correctly.
Exactly. I grew up with the Jedi Outcast one with my brother.
Same.
Diet Andres.
I still have it.
I still have that shit too. It's
the
still
multiplayer was so fun. The multiplayer was so
it was amazing. I get that the whole point, like the critics say, hey, yeah, you swing around. There's not really much technique to it, but like there's a counterbalance to that too. Like you have Jedi Outcast, but then you also have a game like Star Wars Episode 3, the video game, which is more like
favorite of mine.
1v1 type of lightsaber combat type thing. You
like those boss fights. Yeah.
Those boss fights, in general, goddamn Grievous. I hate that. I hate that guy.
Grievous. Kenobi.
Kenobi my ass. You're gonna die, man. Like I remember losing to this guy so many times, man. I was a rager back in the day, and I would be like, and I'm
I almost said Dooku, but yeah, Grievous played a lot.
By far the hardest boss fight in that game. Trust me on that.
That's another game that I miss so dearly. Like it was even I would literally back in the day before online online multiplayer was the norm on the PS2. I would literally plug my second controller to get into multiplayer mode, because that was the only time you get to play as old Ben and Vader.
Yeah. Oh my god.
That would literally my cousin will be like, why are you asking me if I could do this? Because it's Darth Vader, because obviously Darth Vader is my favorite character in Star Wars, next to Anakin, of course, even though they're the same person. But I just wanted to play as Vader, and he said, "No, fine, here you go." And Vader and the little talks that they would make each other during the fight, especially with Vader and old Ben.
Yeah,
like those are some of the best moments. And then once you slay Ben, he just and his cloak just falls.
Yeah, and whenever you would parry, right? You would parry their attacks. You would actually pull off a special move, and Darth Vader, he just grabs the enemy and starts choking him to death, and then just throws him back. But that's why I
freaking love him as a character at the time, because he doesn't need to do anything spectacular. He just grabs you and lifts you up.
Yeah, and old Ben had this move where like the enemy would attack him, right? And he would just bonk him on the head with the lightsaber hilt, and they would just fall down. It would be the most comedic shit in that game.
Yeah, that game, man, that game needed more praise, bro. Like that game was so good.
Yeah,
it's
short. It's short, but
it's short. Yeah, because the other reason why I did like Episode 3 is because you actually took place in the sacking of the temple as Anakin. And along with 251st troopers with you, they don't do much. It was just like a nice little thing. And as you slay down the Jedi in the different rooms and your clones, you see them in the background, like fighting.
Yeah.
And like in the background areas, you would see them fighting the Jedi too. It was like isn't that like the only game that you actually took part in the sacking of the temple? Because I think.
Yeah, I think so. Aside from parts about Anakin slaying the children, and
I know one of the Jedis that you fight in that game, he actually appeared in the Clone Wars very briefly. It was
Syndrolic?
Syndrolic, thank you. Yeah. He made an appearance in the show, and I saw him like, oh, I remember you. Anakin Slacia.
Yeah, you were that White Wolf looking motherfucker that I slayed at the
That
end of the
Geralt
level
looking
of the
guy.
Sacking of the temple.
The guy that looked like Geralt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I remember. That was a nice little callback. Like it was so subtle, but because I remember that briefly from the Clone Wars show when I saw that, I'm like, hey, I remember you. Even he didn't like Anakin.
Yeah, he was just with his fantastic white hair just flowing in the breeze.
His Geralt locks.
He was just getting his sloppy ass seconds, from lightsaber combating.
Oh, Jesus Christ! There's an image.
Oh my god!
And then you actually see him like at the ending of that scene where he actually puts in like the code in the beacon room to actually call all the Jedi to the temple.
Yeah.
And then when you actually take the next level, when you play as Obi-Wan and going to the temple, you actually fight the special enemy. It's actually the recon. Forgot the name of the battalion. It's the ones with the blades. Now they go like this. Take their blades out.
Exactly.
Yeah, those guys. They're one of the recon battalions. I forgot their name.
Yeah, it's one of the ones that Thick Boy just slices through like butter. I remember.
The social justice warriors.
Okay.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Okay. All right. We went there. We don't get canceled now.
Nah,
I got a
it's
hood
okay.
on.
We won't
man.
get canceled.
Peace out, bitches. I'm gone.
But yeah, so I would love to see maybe Republic Commando get, and this time because the first one took place during the Republic throughout the Clone Wars throughout it. I would love to see, because even Delta Squad made it in a Wars. It was when Grievous attacked Kamina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was you showed him coming out from a mission, and you see Obi-Wan talking with them. You actually see the main character you play. I think his name is just Boss. Actually speaking with them. When I saw that, I'm like, oh my god, they're canon. They're now canon.
It's a hell of a surprise.
That was a nice little callback. I was so happy when I saw that. Love, and not to mention just a little bit of a little note that in the main menu song for the Republic Commando is actually in the Star Wars: The Old Republic MMO.
Hey,
Oh
that's
shit!
cool.
No way.
Like
That's
in the Old Republic MMO where you pick as the bounty hunter class.
Yeah.
Eventually in the storyline, depending on the choices you make, you can actually become a Mandalorian. And when you're on like some of the Mandalorian planets, you can actually hear that song in the background.
That's
It was a nice callback. I was so happy when I saw that. It's a nice little Easter egg.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a really in-depth Easter egg right there. Shit.
I honestly, it's one of the more less subtle tracks as it wasn't part of the original movies. That's why I was surprised they actually added that to the game.
Yo, Elliot, you might have like. I want to make this one quick because like there is one game that did release that I think lost all of its potential because it was so rushed. I'll keep it brief because this is a really short game. I still like the game, but I feel like it could have been much better.
Which one is it?
The SpongeBob SquarePants movie game. I'm being serious, Dick.
No, I honestly
just
wasn't
said-
expecting.
I
the
just
movie
did.
game.
Yeah, I didn't expect you to say that. Andres is 2 for 2 on the unexpected side.
Yeah.
It's just like
I was
Back-
expecting.
back
I was expecting Disney's Tarzan.
Or
oh yeah, Clayton
The
coming
Lion
in with
King.
a double-barreled shotgun. You play as him, you have to shoot down the gorillas, man.
Oh my god.
and an actual Walking Dead shooter done right.
Right?
Oh, that'd be kind of cool. Although
That
I'm
would be cool. Right?
although I'm getting kind of tired of zombie games. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You and me both.
Oh yeah. 2012 was that year.
I mean, we're getting Dying Light 2 next year.
Yep, I know.
And honestly, might be the last one I ever play.
Oh wow.
But speaking of Dying Light, this Dying Light from my childhood, man. I'm trying to keep it. I'm kind of trying to keep it back on the SpongeBob shit. I'm one of the biggest fans of the show. And when Battle for Bikini Bottom got rehydrated last year, like I was playing that, and it brought back a lot of really sweet memories.
I still have to play the Battle for Bikini Bottom remaster.
Same.
I used to main that game on GameCube other than Godzilla. Like that was I used to have it and everything. It was fun.
Me for GameCube, it was Crash Tag Team Racing.
It was
That's awesome.
It was SpongeBob, it was Mario Kart Double Dash, Godzilla, and Melee, and like the Super and Smash Brothers Melee.
Yeah,
Bro,
if we were
living right next to each other, we would be staying up all night trying to 100% that shit, because those are the exact type of games that I was trying to 100%.
Double Dash was an experience.
It was. Oh my god, what a switch up, man. But bro, like when Battle for Bikini Bottom got rehydrated, I started playing it again and I finished it. I was like, man, I forgot how great this game was, man. It's got its issues, but the voice acting was there. Like the skills were all there, the environments all there, music incredible. Like for a SpongeBob game, this was great. I loved it. And then I decided to go back home and revisit the SpongeBob movie game, and I realized that it was much shorter. Like there were not as many golden spatulas because they used Goofy Goober tokens as your stars. And, yeah,
Goofy Goober, yeah,
bro. And I realized I did not realize how much I hated Mindy in this game, because this bitch, she expects me to collect more Goofy Goober tokens, backtrack to the levels that I did before, right? Really, that should be happening. That should be happening naturally, right? But instead, this bitch wants me to go to that stupid ass like Krabby Patty wagon thing, go through the sloppy ass tracks, right? Beat my own time, even though I never wanted that to happen. It was like the weakest parts of the game for me, because it messed with progression in such a way that it killed my enthusiasm for the game. Even though I do like the game, I do realize that that's a big flaw, and anybody else who's going to tackle a SpongeBob game like that needs to know that that is the go-to on how not to do progression.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, rent aside.
Yeah,
I like that.
All right, you got one, Elliot?
I didn't realize that. I realized I didn't need that in my life, but now I do.
Lol.
Mindy's all right in the movie. She's hot, but in the movie she's good. In the game she's good. It's a good one.
Oh my god.
Isn't she a teenager?
I'm JK.
Are you sure about that?
I'm sure about that, John Cena.
Okay, Mr. Goldfish,
Wow.
you got anything to add?
Yes. Elliot, my man. What do you got?
Spawn.
Yo, of course, man.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
He is the baddest bitch I can think of,
Hey,
because
Mr. Autotune.
he has so much. He can do so much. He's Spawn, and he had titles. I mean, there's one game in the 90s that wasn't that good.
I
There was
remember
one in
that.
2004. Yeah, there was one in Armageddon, which is pretty good. But I just feel like he's a kind of character that, it'd be great to really see a Spawn game where it's like it tells the tale of Spawn, because Spawn is kind of not really the mainstream anymore. Like in the late 90s, he was super popular. Like
That's when
Yeah,
animators actually gave it down.
He was the shit, man.
With
I love
Gargoyles, Spawn, Batman the Animated Series. Now, now what do we got nowadays?
Yeah, and I know that there's a movie coming out, or it's still in production, but Tom McFarlane, the guy who's behind it, he's trying to get Spawn to get a good comeback. I mean, now he's right now he broke the record for how many comic books for a character. Well, I forgot but he broke 300, which is the number of comic book run for an independent publisher. and Spawn is
That's
still
impressive.
breaking records. They're like at 116 right now.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're still going, and yeah, he's doing a good job. And
I'm proud of that.
he has, like I said, he's every superpower. He has, his suit is just so great. He can do so much, and
He's not afraid to hold back.
Yeah, and
Two shoes
it'd be kinda
guy.
cool to
He's not your classic hero either.
Yeah, no, he's very flawed. Like, and he's kind of vulnerable, if you ask me.
Even if his
Like,
backstory too.
Yeah, and I would like to see his, like, where he was when he, like, I like to see when he was a soldier. Like, I would like to see,
Yeah.
like, he apparently saved
I would
the
love that.
president back in like in the first issue. I like to see, like, that mission of, like, how he saved the president. Like, that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
I would just love to see who he is. Like, he can teleport, he can fly, he has his guns everywhere. I mean, we're teased with that with Mortal Kombat 11, but like,
Yeah.
I just think a full open world game would be great to go from hell to the present to, like, time traveling to see what it's like. And he ends up becoming God at the end, but then he stops because he's bored. Like,
That's
like,
right.
these.
That sounds like the worst job in the world, to be honest. You get so bored so fast because you're doing nothing.
Yeah, he's
You just sit in a chair all day.
Yeah. So that was his decision.
Anyway.
So I would say because of that. Spawn's
I could see because the closest we got to Spawn making a comeback was in MK11, and even before MK11, the last time he made an appearance was like in the 2000s with Soul Calibur.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
That
right.
was like the last time he made an actual appearance
Yeah,
in a game.
and
Was in Soul Calibur in the 2000s.
And Keith David.
God bless that man.
Keith David, man.
One of my favorite voice actors in the industry to this day. The fact that he even said at the in the live stream with the tournament, the MK tournament, when he was there, he even said that if they come back with another Spawn show or a video game or something, he'll be there. Like, he loves the character. He said he would be there 100%. So
I'm happy about that then. Yeah.
And the fact that who knows how much longer Keith David has left, because he's getting up there in age.
Don't say that he's immortal. He's immortal.
Hey,
don't say that he's immortal. Oh my god.
He's immortal, okay?
I say the same thing with James Earl Jones.
You don't say that about both Dr. Facilier and Mufasa, man.
And let's not forget that same guy who does the Navy narration commercials.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely love to see Spawn come back to the mainstream. But considering how sensitive people are nowadays, I don't know how people will take to that.
Yeah, I get
The
that.
OG fans will stick to it.
Oh hell yeah. Back when they actually cared and people weren't so sensitive about one single small word that you mentioned as a joke. And then nowadays, people's careers are over just because of one word that they said like 15, 20 years ago that wasn't even that bad to begin with. But just too sensitive nowadays.
That's true. People need to unrustle their jimmies.
You got that right. Unfuck their brain up. But yeah, I would love to see Spawn make a comeback, because when I saw him, because I've never read any Spawn comics, I've seen bits and pieces from, like, I only know from what I've seen the videos about him, but from MK11. But from what I've seen, his character is really in depth, and I would love to see that character actually have his own game. Maybe whatever type of game it could be. Maybe it could be a slasher or an open world sandbox or something. But it'll maybe you see him how he is present day. But then you keep at certain points in time, he has flashbacks of when he was still alive during it as a soldier and everything. See how his origins were and how he actually, towards the end of the game, you actually see how he ended up becoming how he is now. What happened that actually made him become a hell spawn and things like that as he got stronger. I would love to see something like that, because it's been decades of without anything Spawn in the mainstream. And honestly, a lot of people don't even know who he is. So I would love to see that would make a good way for him to make a comeback. And of course, Todd McFarlane, since Spawn is his baby, he will have to be at the forefront with the decisions. But I would love to see something like that. Maybe open world sandbox, like in terms of like Spider-Man, in terms of the open world, or maybe a slasher of some sort, maybe like a Devil May Cry type of thing. I would love to see something like that come with Spawn. I would like to see him come back into the mainstream.
That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like that.
Because
Me
I'm glad
too.
that his character is still going.
Yeah. Did anybody have any other suggestions?
No, I don't really got anything.
SpongeBob Truth or Square. I'm just
Lol.
No, I'm all,
It might be a
I'm
good
out.
time to end it. Wait, do I have one more?
Come on, Ginger Prime, you got this.
Bro, Elliot, Elliot, if you got
Lantern.
some more ideas, what's up?
Green Lantern.
Green Lantern.
Whoa, Guy Gardner, Hal Jordan, or my boy Hal Stewart?
All.
Hal Stewart.
Hal Stewart. What am I saying? That's Megamind's
Hal
villain.
Stewart. Hal Stewart, dog.
Hal Stewart.
Oh,
I'm bad, dude. You mean John
My
Stewart?
bad. John Stewart, yeah. Hal Stewart.
Obviously, Hal Stewart is obviously a character for Static Shock. Come on now.
Oh yeah, right, exactly.
I'm gonna
Anyway.
say
But the shock was, I think,
I would love to see a game where you can explore all of the Lantern cores, but you kind of like Destiny, where you create your own character
Mm-hmm.
and like what's or whatever, but then you take a questionnaire, or like let's say you take a test or something, and then from there you get drafted into a core, and then you live, and then you go through the campaign in that core.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some like 9-11. There's a lot. It'd be kind of interesting to see like where, like it's all kind of like one story, but like how each story is different. Like what happens in the Orange Corps or Larfleeze. You basically see the Red Lantern Corps, the Yellow Lantern, the Blue Lanterns, the Indigo, like the Indigo Tribe.
The
Like,
new orange lanterns and black lanterns and all that stuff.
yeah.
There's so many.
Mm-hmm.
I would love that. And just like the boss battles have like these big like press square for all you PlayStation fans out there. Press square, and then like this big like baseball glove appears for the Green Lantern, and then like
All right, let's
I
not
don't
get
know, I don't
into
know.
let's not get into Ryan Reynolds territory here.
I still say I could still say that Ryan Reynolds makes for a good, at least looks wise, makes it looks.
Oh yeah, he wasn't the problem of that movie.
It was the plot.
It was everything else.
He even hates it. He hasn't even seen it.
No, I mean, all you got to do is
I don't
just
blame
do
him.
Deadpool. He roasted on a regular basis too.
And he
Yeah.
loves Deadpool. He's the
Yeah.
one that actually got Deadpool to be made. I don't
just
I have a lot of
just
respect for that man.
don't make the suit green or animated.
Or animate.
Don't
yeah.
make the
Or
suit-
CGI.
Just don't make the suit green or animated.
Don't use spandex. This is not Power Rangers.
But speaking of Power Rangers, Green Lantern Corps are a bunch of different colored Power Rangers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you
Yep.
when you the different Lantern Corps, that'd be great. I would love to see that. Then like you can see like which of the core leader is guiding you through this. Like it'd be kind of cool to see like what's the name of the Red Lantern Corps leader? Atrocitus.
Atrocitus with Dexstar.
With Dexstar.
I would love
It'd be
that.
great to see.
That would be it has like I do agree that the Green Lantern side of the whole thing with all the cores and all that has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
Imagine because the character creator, like you said, you go through a bunch of questions, your build or however they decide to make it, and you depending on how your character's personality is, how you craft them, it'll land you in like, let's say you're like maybe on your backstory or something. It takes effect that you have all these cores, and depending on like your backstory and how you made your character, only certain lantern cores will be on your checklist. Like the rest of them will be crossed out, and you have, let's say, the red lanterns and let's say the black lantern core. And depending on your personality, you double down to just those last few, and you just make your choice there. And each of them has their own distinct ending, with like you said, the leader guiding you through the whole thing, through like your training and help you get stronger. And depending on the core, no, it might even take their place as the leader. Who knows? Because the cores have a lot of potential, especially if you've seen some clips of like the Green Lantern cartoon that was on Cartoon Network for a while.
Yeah, the one that voiced with Josh Keaton.
Yeah,
that
one gave some good on the mythos of the Green Lanterns, especially when the Red Lanterns made their appearance.
Bro.
I didn't see the show a lot, but the few episodes that I did see of it were very interesting.
Yeah, and they did his backstory justice, man.
I was like, maybe also like, I don't think race could really be a factor because Lanterns have all types of races, but maybe like you said, the personality could be one. Maybe how the backstory is definitely going to be a factor. So I would love to see is you make your character be more violent, more stoic, more heroic, more laid back, and depending on your choices, it really factors what core you land on. And then depending how many cores can actually be put into the game, probably make for a solid ending. Of course, it probably will never be canon, but it's a fun game. Whatever happened to like non-canon games actually being legitimately fun? People stop making like, this game obviously has to be canon. Not everything has to be canon.
Yeah, man, like Shadow the Hedgehog, man.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, we don't talk about that game. I have it, so I can understand what you mean.
I do too.
Oh, the pain. But so I do agree with the Green Lantern thing.
No, you're good, man. I think this is a good way to wrap it up.
I agree.
Well, thanks.
Yo, bro. Go for it.
Well, I just want to say thanks, guys, for listening again. I know it's kind of we had some Wi-Fi issues and all that stuff, but thanks, guys, for watching. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and follow us on all social media platforms and subscribe to us. Do you guys want to plug your social media while we're talking?
No, I'm good.
Jose in the house. Yeah, no. But me, sure. I'll plug it in. It's LOROPOROTO Loro Poroto. That's my YouTube, and that's where it is, man.
Yeah.
For more wackiness and really dumb shit.
That's what keeps it wacky, and that's what keeps it fun.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Well, thanks, guys, for watching, and just may the force be with you.
The thick will always be with you, man.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Jose, this is your turn to stop recording.
Yeah, I got it. Okay. How do I do that? Oh, okay. I see.
Go back to